today is going to be essentially your syllabus. So what you should be looking at right now is our Canvas site. And on this site, you'll see essentially three modules. The first one is the most important for this week. And there's a link where I tell you a little bit about myself. For those who need some help with Zoom, shouldn't really be an issue. Since our class, apart from the first week, is going to be on ground, you could just drop by my office, which is room 111. But I do have a Zoom link that you can use if for some reason you can't get to school, but you still would like to talk to me. And this one is very important. This is the link that allows you or tells you how to do what I was saying, how to join it. That's your key, that's our class key. And here are the instructions. Just checking everything matches. This is our instructions, and you follow these and you join WebAssign, because this class, although it is on ground, all the homework and online tests are done online using a portal, Cengage WebAssign. And in this WebAssign, you have to join, as you can see here, it costs, I think it's $100 and a few dollars. You will get all your homework, you will get all the resources that WebAssign give you. You will even get an ebook, so you don't need to buy a textbook, because they have an electronic book, which you can use instead. So if I now leave that page and continue, there's my officer, and it's 11 o'clock in building 8, room 111, or you can contact me using Zoom. And here, although it won't exist yet, will be, oh, I take it back, it is here. It's your project one. And essentially, this is some questions from your calculus classes, your Calc 1 class. And on it, we're showing you some of the things that I expect you to know, because some of these, most of these, will appear, the skill at least, will be used in Calc 2. So you will do that sometime over the weekend and give it to me on Monday, the 9th of January. And that's when I should be back. Actually, a couple of days before that, I should be back in America. So there's a Zoom resource page if you need some help with Zoom. And my apologies. Here, right at the bottom, are all the videos that you'll be using instead of having a lesson with me. So this blank here will actually contain the video that you're now, that I'm now creating. And then you can go here, and there's a video on section 5.1, calculating the area under a curve. I'll tidy this up. That one there is also some more questions on that. And this one here is in the trapezoid rule. So this week, we're going to cover section 5.1 and section 7.7. And I will now leave that. Show you what else we have. Well, still in Canvas, there is this link, which gives you essentially all sorts of things. Here's a video. I'm using a technique called integration by parts. Here are some softwares that you can use. If I click on this, what you will see, once it loads up, is that there are lectures. At least there should be, there we go. There are lectures made by various people on the topics that we're doing. So there's area and distance, area under the curve. It's disappeared on me, go again. And there's 7, 7. So that's just a resource for you. If we there we go. If we then go to this one here, which is chapter 5, you can see there's similar stuff in 6 and 7 and so on. If we return back to 5 and you click on this, you get some help with some of the homework questions. And if you click on this one and you scroll a little bit further, I believe. Here we go. And it's a little bit, my internet connection is not great here, but if you open that link, here are some helps with using your graphing calculator, I believe. Very slow, but you can check it out your own. Here's one on introduction. And here's some notes on the trapezoids and simple rules. So if you click on these, they can give you some other resources to help you. So that's where you can go looking if you need help on any of the topics during this week or in the weeks to follow. Right, now if we call home and get out of here and close that one off, you can see that there's a lot of stuff that you can be using. And this one here is the college info, which you can certainly tells you about the resources that the college provide and things like e-tutoring and so on. So that's essentially what Canvas is. It's a resource for you, right? It contains videos, other videos, not just one we're making. PDFs of solutions to homework questions and practice questions when it gets closer to the final and so on. Now, if I then click on syllabus, let's see what. With the exception of the first week, our class will be on ground and it will be in building 4, room 125. And for our class, I believe it's 8 to 8:50. And where is building 5? Is it 4? Building 4, I should say, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, building 4, room 125. Right, it's over there. Room 25 is probably about here. And my office is where that little red dot is. There's a Zoom link if you want to contact me during office hours using Zoom. Here is a link to all the 3 college resources. Maybe a little on a computer, for instance, or a webcam if that's something that you think might be useful for you. And you don't need a textbook because when you enroll in WebAssign, you get access to their ebook, which is essentially the same textbook, but in an electronic format that you can use in the same way you could choose the textbook. Now here are the important dates. If you look at this one, well, actually, there's another date here that's not mentioned, so I'll tell you. We need on Monday the 9th you to do your project 1 and send it to me. So that's also mentioned there. And then we have a midterm, which takes 2 days. We have a couple of holidays, and our final is a 3-hour final on Wednesday, the 15th. And what you can see here is the homework assignment schedule. Oh, I apologize. Yeah, so that's our first week, and that includes project 1 that's due on Monday as well. These are done on WebAssign. and web assign grades them for you and so on. Week 2, 3, 4, 5, there's your midterm. Here's week 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Week 11, technically Monday is a school day, so that will be just reviewing for the final. And here is your final, which is on Wednesday. Now, there's a few other things which I think you're fully aware of. If you have needed accommodation, you have to make sure that that access services know about your situation and communicate with me as well, so I know what I need to make your life easier. Now, here is how we're going to grade our class. You get 10% coming to class. I'm going to be taking attendance every day. Week 1, because we're all online, you will just be given credit for being here. Your homework assignments are going to account for 10% of your grade. Your online tests will be 20% of your grade. You won't notice online test 1 until Friday afternoon, probably, if as soon as I set it up. So it will appear even if you don't see it on Tuesday, Wednesday, or Thursday. To continue, there's a midterm exam, 20%. There are 2 projects. One of them is due this Monday. That's 10% of your grade. And last but not least, your final. And here are the details on how participation works. Homework has to be done in WebAssign promptly. If you don't have enough time to finish it, apart from being bad planning on your part, or just unforeseen circumstances that got in the way, then you can ask for an extension, but don't do it through WebAssign. I don't get these. Don't ask or hit the button, ask my professor for help. If I don't do any communication through WebAssign, you might think I get it, but I don't. So what you need to do is just send me your request to my normal email address, drobertson@olympic.edu, and that's it. I'll be able to answer and do what you and do what you need. There are online class tests, just like the homework. The online class tests have to be completed by Sunday midnight. There are no extension syllables, so make sure that you don't dilly-dally on those. You are, of course, allowed to drop 2 of them, so if situations arrive where you don't have time to do them, as long as it's only 2 of them, it won't have an effect on your grade. There's your midterm. Here is the projects. And the first one's called Project 1, and the second one, that's the one that's due on Monday, the 9th, I believe. And this is Project 2, which is pretty much due on the last week. And then your final exam, and we are done. You add them up, figure out what your grade is based on the percentage you got, turn it into a letter if you wish. Well, we have e-tutoring, study partners, singing. These are all sorts of resources to help you. And you should, and this is me giving you some of my personal advice, keep to the class schedule. If something's due a week on Monday, don't do it on Sunday night. If something is coming up that's big, adjust your time so you've got enough time to finish your English project without it interfering with your math and vice versa. So, keep to the schedule and plan. Help. Well, plan accordingly. That's that. That's good. What else? Whenever you have a problem, you got to get it fixed quickly. So I strongly suggest that you go to tutoring, and the DNAs will do that. And you can also go to e-tutoring as well, which is electronic tutoring, or you can go to the tutoring service that's just across from my office, actually, and get one-on-one human help rather than someone talking to you over an electronic device. And here are the usual college standards of what we expect. It's pretty obvious what they are. And last, whew, sit back, take a deep breath and say, I can do this, and you can. So that is us. And I hope to see you on Monday. I will, barring flus and colds, which I'm strongly trying really hard to get rid of. So bye-bye. Well, what I'd like to show you what I'd like to show you is what web assign looks like from your perspective. So what you can see here is essentially your web assignment put on student view, and right now nothing is showing because we haven't started the class. So if I close student view, this is what you will eventually get to see. Now, you only get to see the ones that are due in any given week. So in this case, you're only going to see getting started with web assign, which is really just a small set of questions reminding you of the various buttons and things you can do in web assign. So I will press this one, show you what it might look like. You can see there's 16 questions, and some of them are trivial. Select the option called "This is the correct answer," so you can get any easier than that. And sometimes you get pull down menus. Someday you get graphs, which one or more is correct. Some you get a calculation. It's pretty straightforward. You want to use when you click on the box, you want to use CalcPad. That's how you would type in, for instance, square of x. There we go. Square of x, and various other things. And that's pretty much what it is. If we then move on to 5.1 homework, there are 9 questions here, and essentially you're given a graph, and you're going to find the area under that graph, and you're going to do it with, in this case, going from 0 to 10, and how many strips. So unless specified, all are assumed to have the same width. Here's the graph of function. By reading the values from this given graph, 5 rectangles. So you imagine starting here and finishing there, you'd go 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. That would be your rectangles. That would be a right rectangle. That would be a left. You add them all up, and one of your pictures would look like that. And you choose the correct picture. And then here are just some more examples. So you're basically using left and right for the most part, and calculating what are called Riemann sums, which are basically the area of a list of rectangles that can be used to estimate the area under a curve. And then you can do 7.7. There we go. And you will use the trapezoid rule and the midpoint rule to estimate the area from 0 to 1 of this curve. And hopefully you've read over the notes and watched the videos and you'll know what is expected of you. And then you can put upper and lower bounds. So this integral is less than that number and bigger than that one. And we are allowed to do that in some circumstances. If the curve is always increasing or always decreasing, then when you use the left or right to decide the left or right boundary to decide the height of the rectangle you're going to use, one of them gives you an answer that's too big, the overestimate. One gives you an answer that is clearly too small, the underestimate. And what that does is it allows you to put a bound on the answer. So you can say it's between one and the other. And there are a number of questions, mostly number crunching, but you have to be really accurate. So make sure that you have your TI-84 handy and that you do things to, I know it says to 6 decimal places, but you need to do all calculations to 7 or even 8. And then when you're finished, only when you're finished, round the last answer to 6. If you do all your intermediary calculations to 6, what you will find is that there's an accumulation of errors that happens very often. And instead of your answer being correct, it'll be mostly correct, but instead of finishing 1, 2, 3, as the last 3 decimal places, it might finish as 1, 2, 7. And Weber sign is very pernickety. It wants a perfect answer. You've got to give it one, but at least to 6 decimal places in this case. And that was a little addendum on how to use Weber sign.